Alright guys, so we're pulling back the curtain today and we're going to look at what it's really like to run a six-figure online business. So you see it all the time, right? You see the glitz, the glam, the Lambos, the Rolexes and all of that good stuff. But what does it actually look like behind the scenes? So over the next 10 minutes or so, I want to show you the harsh realities that come with running an online business and just show you some of the pros and the cons so you can see if running an online business is something you actually want to do. I fully wholeheartedly believe that running an online business is the right path for me. It is much better for me rather than working a 9-to-5 or working for someone else. For me, running my own online business is the way to go. But as I said, I want to just show you the ins and outs so you can make that decision for yourself and see if you feel like you have what it takes to actually run an online business. So I'm going to start off with the negative points of running an online business. And this is because I feel like you guys want to actually see and hear about the negative things, right? The things that go on behind the scenes that you don't really hear a lot of people talking about. So without further ado, we're going to jump straight into it. The first thing is that it took me months and months to actually see any bit of success. So although after signing my first client, I was able to get to the six-figure mark within roughly 2 months, it took me months and months before then to actually sign a client. Now this had nothing to do with the online business. This was a complete fault of myself. I spent my time on things that didn't really matter. I built a website, I got business cards, and I did all this stuff that really didn't do a whole lot. You know, it didn't push me forward. It didn't get me any clients, and ultimately it was quite a waste of time. For a lot of people, when they start off, this is what they do when they start an online business. They do stuff that they think will work, but ultimately it's just a waste of time, and it takes them a few months of zigging and zagging until they actually get on a clear path to success. Point number 2 is that sometimes it's completely natural that you will feel demotivated. So I actually got this question on my Instagram of how do you stay motivated, and ultimately to stay motivated you have to be passionate about what you do. So if you pick an online business that will make you a lot of money, but you won't be actually passionate about it, you're probably going to fall into that trap and you're probably going to actually feel demotivated a lot of the time. You don't have someone looking over your desk, looking at what you're doing or knocking on your door to see if you're actually being productive and doing your work. So it's completely up to you. You've got to have a strong sense of self-discipline and confidence in that you'll actually be able to do the work and just get it done every day. Point number 3 is that sometimes you do a ton of work and you see no results. When you work at 9-to-5, you have a set hourly rate or a set monthly wage that you get, and you know that if you put in X hours, you get Y back. With an online business, there's times where you put in 10 hours and you get 0 back. And then there's times where you put in 1 hour and you get tons back. So in my case, for running a social media marketing agency, a big job for me is to get clients, right? That's a huge priority for me. And what I found was that there's sometimes where you'll do a bunch of calls and you won't get any clients, you won't close any deals, and you won't get paid for that. Even just last week, I had one day where I think I had about 3 calls. 2 of them were no-shows, 1 of them was just not a good fit, so I made no money from that new day. Now, of course, I've got other client payments coming in from my current set of clients, but I didn't make any more money from spending about 1 to 2 hours waiting for those calls. Point number 4 is that sometimes when you're running an online business, your team members and the people on your team ultimately aren't doing what they're meant to be doing. So you've got to be good at fixing problems and identifying when there is a problem. We have times where staff members and team members just aren't doing what they're meant to be doing, or they're just not doing it to the standard that we expect, and we've got to fix that. So that can be annoying and that can be frustrating. Let's say it's a Sunday and you want to take a few hours off, and then you realize that a client is not happy because one of your team members is doing something and not doing it right. So that is a downside, I'll be completely honest. Now, of course, as you train your team members and you get more comfortable with them, they're going to be more confident, they're going to actually do a better job. So this is just something that you'll find with the beginning stages. And the 5th negative point of running an online business is that you have to be willing to work every single day. Now, you don't have to work every single day and do a lot of hours, but you have to be willing, right? Because there's going to be times, like I mentioned, where you're on a Sunday and your team member isn't doing what they're meant to be doing, and you've got to fix that problem. You can't just brush problems under the rug because there is no rug, right? You're the boss, you're the CEO, or whatever you want to call it, so you've got to fix that problem. So I don't work crazy hours every single day. In fact, on a Friday and a Sunday, I don't really do a whole lot of work. Today is a Friday and I'm recording a YouTube video. But the point is that you have to be okay with working every day, all right? So you got to be okay with coming in and doing work if there's a problem and just firefighting and fixing that problem. Okay guys, so that's enough of the negativity out of the way. I just wanted to give you that kind of rundown of that so you can really see what it's like, the negatives and the positives. So now let's jump into the positives. I've got a list here of things that are absolutely amazing and things that I absolutely love about running an online business. So point number one is that I have location freedom. I can be anywhere in the world and I can work. Right now, I'm shooting this in Bulgaria. I'm in an Airbnb and I'm doing my work, right? I can do this from anywhere in the world. I can do this in Ireland, Bulgaria, or basically any country that I have Wi-Fi in. For me, that's incredibly important. So if I want to spend time with friends and go on a holiday, I can do that and I can still work. Or if I want to go on a trip completely by myself somewhere across the world, I can go and do that as well. I wouldn't have that freedom if I was working a 9 to 5. Now, in the current landscape, I know a lot of people have had their jobs moved online. So you might be lucky enough now to actually have a 9 to 5 where you can work online. And if that's you, that's absolutely awesome. So take advantage of it. Now, I also have a very good degree of time freedom. Okay, so I get to set my schedule and work the hours I want to work. In reality, my schedule is based around the calls that I have booked in each week. So for example, Monday to Thursday, I've got calls, and then on Saturdays, we'll do a few calls as well. So usually it means that a Friday and a Sunday is a very free day. And in fact, you can just do what you want. But in those other days, we dedicate those times to having new calls. The beauty of this is that I wouldn't have to do that, right? With this online business right now, I do a lot of the sales calls for my marketing agency. But in the future, that's not going to be something I'm doing, right? Eventually, we're going to get someone in there. We are looking for someone, but it just takes a bit of time to find the right person. But I have a lot of time freedom, right? So even on the days that I do have calls booked, I can still do what I want with a lot of my time, right? So with a 9 to 5, you are set, right? It's 9 to 5. And you might even have to do a few hours when you go home if it's a big project. But for me, I get up at maybe 8 a.m., sometimes 6:30, and then from there, I can really spend my morning and do what I want, right? My first call is usually at maybe 12 or 1 p.m., meaning that I have this entire block to do whatever I want. Then also in the afternoon, we have a few hours just completely off, no calls, no nothing. Then obviously in the evening, I don't have calls. So ultimately, there is a lot of time freedom with an online business. Point number 3 is that we don't have any major overheads. We don't have an office. We don't have any like crazy staff. We have obviously contractors and team members, but everybody is a contractor at the moment, meaning that we don't have any full-time staff. So literally, apart from some softwares and platforms that we use for running our agency, like serving our clients and delivering our service, apart from that, we just have costs related to people who are on our team. Point number 4 is the ability to scale. With a physical business, it's very hard to scale up. Let's say you launch a gym and it's really successful, you're doing well. To scale up, you usually will have to build more space, right? Add more space to your gym, or you'll have to offer like maybe more fitness classes and extend your hours. So you're very much capped by a lot of factors. Whereas with an online business and specifically running a marketing agency, the beauty of it is that you can go from 0 to 6 figures very, very quickly, right? Like we got to a 6-figure mark in like 2 months. And then when you hit that 6-figure mark, it's not as if you're just capped there, right? You can go to multi 6 figures and maybe even 7 figures down the line. The internet is a crazy thing, and one of the biggest things it has brought to people is the ability to scale, right? To take your business and take it from, just starting off to really, really big numbers very, very fast. And that's because you just don't have these physical limitations that you would with like a normal brick and mortar business. And point number 5 is that with an online business, you can build a lot of systems so that it runs without you. So with an online business, you can actually build systems within your business, right? The reason you want to do this is that you can build systems that basically run the business for you, meaning that you just might have to feed the systems or fine tune the systems every now and then, but ultimately they run very, very smoothly without your input. So right now, my online business, my agency runs relatively smoothly without us. We have team members and we have systems to deliver service and do all of that for our clients. Obviously, I'm still involved quite heavily because I enjoy a lot what I do. But in terms of actually delivering the service, that's pretty much sorted, right? I'm involved in terms of getting new clients and optimizing our outreach to get more clients. But in terms of running the business, it's pretty smooth. All right, guys, so I hope that kind of clears it up and shows you the pros and the cons of running an online business, specifically a 6-figure online business. I know for a lot of people, they hear 6-figure and they think that that is the big goal. So if that is you, this should give you a realistic view of what a 6-figure business can look like. Now, I want to be clear in that there's a lot of people who have 6-figure businesses who don't have this freedom, but there's also people who run 6-figure businesses who do it all themselves, right? They don't have any staff, they don't have any systems, and they do everything themselves. So it really depends on how you run your business. You can run your business where you can have time and location freedom, but you can also run it where it absolutely controls your life and you can't do anything without working on your business. If you're like me, you'll probably love working on your business, right? And you'll love pushing it to the next level, but you'll also love the fact that you have this ability to just step back, right? You have the ability to step back and not do a whole lot of work, because you've built up this asset, you know, this entity that really does a good service and brings in money. Alright guys, so that is the end of this video. Nice, short and snappy. I hope you got some value from it, and I hope you learned some things about the intricacies of running an online business. I want you to comment down below anything that kind of shocked you, right? Things that you maybe didn't know before. Maybe things that you didn't know before about running an online business. And as always, I would really appreciate if you hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. And of course, hit that like button to tell YouTube that you like this content, and because you know it helps me out and I really appreciate that. And if you want to learn how I built this six-figure business, you can check out the six-figure roadmap, which is linked in the description. It's a very cheap product where I basically teach you how we went from 0 to 6 figures in 2 months. You can copy and paste a lot of the things that I did, and it should help you get started on your path to building a six-figure business.